Because of America's isolation from the Afro-Eurasian world and the lack of most domesticated animals meant that they weren't immune to Old World diseases, such as smallpox, measles, typhus, influenza, malaria, and yellow fever. Therefore, when they came in contact with these European and African diseases through the slave trade and Columbian exchange, Native American peoples died in extraordinary numbers, in many cases up to 90% of the population. This was referred to as the Great Dying. In the Americas, the Great Dying created a labor shortage and made room for both colonizing Europeans and enslaved Africans. Because of all these new people entering into the Americas, over time new societies were created and the old cultures were diminished. Both Europeans and Africans brought over diseases, plants, and animals. Wheat, rice, sugarcane, grapes, garden vegetables, and fruits influenced the Americas, quickly transforming to a more European diet. Animals such as horse, pig, cattle, goats, and sheep were brought over. The slave trade brought workers to the colonies.
Although both slaves and indentured servants worked for masters, they differed in the possibility of independence. Beginning as early as 1502, European slave traders shipped approximately 11 to 16 million slaves to the Americas. The Triangle Trade was a system for trading slaves from West Africa to the Caribbean to Europe. The slaves were needed due to the development of plantation agriculture and were seen as property, not people. Most slaves worked on tobacco, sugar cane, and cotton plantations and were treated brutally. They were seen as a resource to the plantation owners and a trade commodity to the slave traders. Disease killed many slaves, but they made the development of a new world profitable. Unlike slavery, indentured servants were granted their freedom after fulfilling their obligated service. They were required to do 4 to 7 years of work for free passage to the Americas. They strived to be independent artisans or planters. However, most died from disease or overwork before gaining freedom.
During the slave trade years of 1450 to 1750, Africa was greatly affected. The loss of many men caused a gap in population growth. Also, many of the slaves that were traded were kidnapped from their homes and put on a ship. Most slaves did not make it across the sea because of horrible conditions. Slave trade also caused the U.S. to become dependent on slaves for agricultural use and caused a problem in years to come.